Taramdan, ang Kalibungan, usa nga programa maghahatag iyo yung kasayuran, may tungod ang mga serbisyo o aktibidade sa DENR, ang Department of Environment and Natural Resources Harion 8. Taramdan, ang Kalibungan, magpapahayag ang mga hibagruanan o mga pangasoy ang mga hintutungdan, kabahin ang pagbaguhan aton klima o climate change. Taramdan, ang Kalibungan. DENR, Balita, Kalibungan. Mopay nga takdang kasangkayan, nanin aton taramdan, han Kalibungan, Balita. Usa nga Philippine hanging parrot o kilalang kusi ang naging turnover han Northern Leyte Maritime Police Station han Senro Ormoc. Kahuman liwat ini igkadto han napira nga concerned citizens. Nga nabasarang pag-assess han city veterinarian, nakita nga aada na maupay nga panlawas ini nga mga tamsi nga pwede na nga igabalik haira natural nga orokyan. Basa ra pagklasipikar ang International Union for Conservation of Nature or IUCN ang Philippine hanging parrot usang least concern pero hindi diri gihapon ang napagdakop nga napaghibang o pagpatay ini. Nahipapatik ini sa Republic Act number 9147 o Wildlife Resources Conservation and Protection Act nga may katugbang ining kaprisuhan nga penalidad han mga magbabiolate. Pangatapusan, kasumpayhan na pagselebrar han National Women's Month, yan ang Marso, ang Department of Environment and Natural Resources o DENR din nga Region 8 amo in kaupod ang Regional Donor Recruitment Office han Eastern Visayas Medical Center or EVRMC in nagdumara in usang bloodletting para sa mga empleyado han DNR ato naglabay nga Marso 9, 2022. Ginagatan nga tanan ni Mr. Nigel Buko ang naton Regional Donor Recruitment Officer han EVRMC nga magdonar hinadugo para makabulig kan makasumpay ni iba nga mga kinabuhi. Kahuman ng bloodletting nakatirok ini 13 ka bag han dugo tikang 13 nga empleyado han DNR Region 8 kundiin unom hini ang nabayi nga empleyado. Labot lang ang kilala han DNR ang papel han mga kabayinan pagpalambuhan aton sosyedad. Ang DNR nagpapadayon pakigurusa sa mga buraton nga nagaaghat hin mga voluntaryo nga pagbulig sugad man han bloodletting. Amon to mga kasangkayan na natong taramdan han Kalibungan Balita. Iyo palahing batian ang DENR Balita Kalibungan. Mopay katakdang mga kasangkayan, nakita naton taramdan han Kalibungan nga kundiin iniging papadangat naton na mopay kaburoton han Department of Environment and Natural Resources in Region 8 pinagi haraton bag-o nga OIC Regional Executive Director Arturo Federiquela nga moan lumiwan han aton dati nga Regional Executive Director Tirso Porian Jr. nga kundiin inhiya in aton na as Bureau Director han Forest Management Bureau ha Manila. Nga inigyapon papadangat ta aton ni Assistant Regional Director for Management Services Dr. Art Salazar, nga Assistant Regional Director for Technical Services Attorney Dario Suarez. Nga sugad mong gyapon na panlimbasog han Regional Strategic Communication and Initiatives Group o kun RCIG nga minamanguluhan ni Ma'am Rowena Opiniano. Iya mga kaupuda opisina, Ma'am Perlis, Ma'am Bonavi, Ma'am Hedy, Ma'am Joy, Ma'am Mary Joy, Sir Ogie, Sir Johan, ngan Sir Alfie. My name is Chito Morante. Yan ang adlaw, aton pag-ilusturyahan na may tungudan Earth Hour Renewable Energy. Ngan kundiin, an aton magiging resource speaker or resource person, amo Sir Benjamin Benji Picardo. Nga kundin hiya amo ang President han Taft Hydro Energy Corporation. Take it away.
Benji Picardo. Mapay nga aga, sir. Good morning.
Maupay aga liwat, and thank you for having me.
Mapagkailan ko, sir, when we talk about renewable energy, pwede kayo matagal in brief background. Ano ba niya? What do we call renewable energy?
Well, there are essentially two sources of energy. No, one is fossil, which is powered mainly by coal and diesel, bunker, non-renewable, no, finite resources. Sabihin, no? And then there's the renewable. Renewable are things like hydro, no? Because it's continuously renew, no? It's an infinite source, no? Solar, infinite. Wind is also that, no? Then biomass, of course, depending upon your feedstock, it's infinite. It's not finite, let's say. It's not a finite resource.
Okay. So when we talk about renewable energy compared to the fossil fuel sources of energy, what are the benefits if we use this kind of renewable energy, sources of renewable energy, let's say hydro?
Yeah. Well, the thing that jumps out is really the emissions.
Yes.
No, you have a lot of NOx coming out of coal plants, which pollutes the atmosphere, and it contributes so much to carbon. No? The carbon emission is so high. This is what causes global warming. No? That is the benefit. Whereas, like hydro, for instance, there's no pollution.
Yes.
Produced by hydro, there's no pollution. Produced by solar, wind, wala din. No? So that's the main difference, advantage rather. That's one, no, that comes to mind as far as DNR is concerned. Hydro, ang kausap mo lang ang Panginoon.
Yes, po.
Lord, let it rain, let it rain, let it rain, and we will keep running. It doesn't cost anything for rain. No? So is sun. No? Hindi naman naniningil pa ang Panginoon.
Yes, po.
Diba? Ng sun and wind as well. So, yeah, so two things that make renewable advantageous over fossil.
Okay. Particular po dito sa Taft Hydro Energy, dito sa Taft Eastern Samar. Paano mo na, I don't know if you are a visionary, paano mo nakikita nga these resources here, especially the Taft River, can be a source of this energy, renewable energy, hydro energy? Paano mo nakita ito?
Well, okay. Nakita ko yung potential, especially in summer, because it rains all the time.
Yes, po.
So I started looking into hydro. No? Started looking into it as early as 2009. You know, so that started my foray into renewable energy. Now I picked hydro over the two other major ones, no, wind and solar, because it has the highest plant load factor. No? And let me explain. Plant load factor is, for instance, if you put up a 100 megawatt plant, no, the plant load factor of solar is only 15 to 17%. In other words, your 100 megawatt plant only produces 15 to 17 megawatts. No? Wind is slightly higher, wala pang 20, no? Even if it's windy, wala pa. No? This one, because it rains all the time in our area. No? The plant load factor would produce over 50%, 51% of the rated capacity. No? So of the 16 megawatts that we have here, on an annual basis, no, alam niyo naman dito sa Eastern Samar, di ba? Well, especially Eastern Samar, the weather is characterized as wet to very wet.
Looking back, parang it took you more than a decade bago ito na-realize. Sabi pa na rin parehan kanina, parang nahirapan o pinaharapan kayo ng DNR. Jesse was saying that earlier, pero anyway, dito na ngayon, itong hydroelectric energy na nakukuha natin sa Taft Eastern Summer. Sabi mo kayo na 16 megawatts ang kaya pulos dito. Pwede bang ma-explain for dummies like me, ano kalaking 16 megawatts? Anong kaya itong bigyan na kuryente? Ilang municipalities ba o anong klase mga industries?
Yeah, well, the 16 megawatts can easily supply the entire Eastern Samar and some part of Samar. No? Yeah, so yun. The existing demand, because the growth rate of demand here, ang projection ng National Electrification Authority, NEA, is only 5%. It eclipses that. Pre-pandemic, ang growth dito, terrible. 7 to 8% per annum ang demand. No? And there's also such a thing as suppressed demand. No? Suppressed kasi ayaw bumili ng maraming appliances yung mga tao dito because the energy is so unstable. I mean, now this one hopefully will spur industry.
Yes, yes.
No? For instance, my next project to contribute to the region is, cold storage and ice plant.
Okay, you made mention earlier kayo, sir, nga this hydro energy can spur economic activities here not only in Taft, but maybe the entire region eventually. Let me focus with job employment na mibigay ng hydro energy, particularly dito sa Taft. Ano nakita mong benefits na kinukuha ng tao dito in terms of employment opportunities?
Ay, ang dami. I mean, even during the pandemic, no? Well, even before the pandemic, there was no opportunity, there was no employment here. As you know, in Eastern Samar, for instance, or Samar, there are no industries. And the main culprit is, why should I put up, say, a processing plant here in Samar where walang kuryente? Diba? Ang mahal ng kuryente. Diba? That's one. That's the indirect effect. But the direct was, lahat mag-uuling itong mga tao na to dito sa area na to. Uling and illegal logging. That was the only and main source of income. At the peak of our construction, we had 728 730 employees. It shifted their illegal activities to something productive, right? Because they are and were working for us. In a couple of months, in 45 days, we will start again the construction of the upper, which is a 14 megawatt one. Balik na naman sila trabaho, so may employment opportunities na naman. No? Yeah.
Okay, when we talk about ang papatuloy nitong ating plan dito is dependent upon the availability ng tubig dito, especially sa ating mga rivers. Matanong lang kita, sir, ano bang dapat gawin ng government o ng DINA in particular na masiguro itong source natin ng hydro energy nandyan? At saka maybe also you can give a few thoughts about how the community can help na masustain talaga ito natin dito.
Well, the main obstacle that we had, as mentioned before, was, the change of the NIPAS, the conversion of NIPAS to e-NIPAS. No? Because most of unfortunately, most of the hydro sites are actually in protected areas. No? Kasi nandun yung because hydro, if you know, it is a function of two things. One is the height difference between the source, the intake, no? Kung saan nanggagaling yung tubig, and where the turbine is. No? So the higher it is, the more energy you can produce, or the higher the capacity is. No? Most of these, unfortunately, are in far-flung areas like, here, Maslog. These are typically protected areas. No? Now that, the e-NIPAS, the passage of e-NIPAS, it now allowed the development of, these projects. Pwede na, di ba? So it took literally an act of Congress with the help of, the SINP and especially Gaga and Seni in passing that the change of the e-NIPAS, the NIPAS to e-NIPAS.
Okay, sir. by tapping our water and converting into hydro energy, are there possible nga, because ang nagagayari, we build dams and we cut trees, parang ganon. Meron bang threats na foresee natin, environmental threats or impacts sa community? O kung meron man, anong safety measures ang ginagawa natin para ma-deflect or minimize natin yan?
Okay. Good question. Yeah. Hydro. Our fuel is water. Okay? So it is in our best interest to partner with you in preserving the watershed where we draw the water from. No? The reason why Samar is an ideal place for hydro is because of the lag ban that was instituted some 35 years ago. Right? We're dependent on rainfall. When rain falls on a denuded area, walang vegetation, the moment it drops to the ground, it immediately evaporates. No? Because of the sun, right? Compared to a fully forested, lush area like this watershed here, where the water just, passes through, falls through the foliage and then down, and then there's shelter underneath. So the evaporation is slowed down. Okay? And it actually seeps into the ground, and when it's fully forested, it's forested, right? The root system of the trees sort of keep the water intact and drip them slowly into the river. That's why mas consistent yung river flow dito, at saka yung volume of water that flows through our river systems in Samar, mas consistent kaysa, for instance, if I compare it to Northern Luzon, kalbo na yung mga forest nila doon eh. So when rain comes, it just drops and then evaporates. Hindi pumupunta sa ilog. Having said that, it's in our best interest to partner with DNR in preserving the watershed. That's one. Because it's in our best interest to really preserve it. Diba, mawawalan kami ng fuel kung hinayaan namin yung maging kalbo.
Yes po.
Now, how do we address that? We have a very robust corporate social responsibility program. We've now instituted, while the guys are working construction, the women folk here, we've organized them to have their livelihoods, to train them for, after the construction, they already have something going on, right? For instance, we started them with water refilling. Binigyan namin ng kapital, and it's ongoing. We're buying from them now. They're making pretty good money, actually. And then another program that we have is bakery. So they're supplying mga pandesal dito sa area. And then another one, livelihood nila is fuel, gasolina. Instead of bote-bote bumibili, mayroon na dyan safe and formal source. Okay, so that's why we are protecting the environment. Now, structurally naman, this one, it's really not considered a dam because a dam is over 20 meters high. This one is only 14.7. But we program it in such a way, our engineers, we plan it in such a way that it can withstand a 200-year flood. So it's very structurally sound. Double, and then the PSI, the cement is more than 5,000 PSI. So talagang matibay, hindi mabubuwag. There is very little chance of it being overtopped or bumuswak. And in fact, we are now helping, it's also a flood control. Downstream in Binaloan and Malinaw, it always floods there. Ngayon, medyo hindi na magpa-flash flood Kasi may buffer tayo rito eh. Somehow the water is controlled, no, the flow of water. So, yun. No? So those, and then, I don't know, we have more than complied with our, for every tree that we had cut, we would replace it with 100 seeds. No? And more pa. Diba? We've been more than compliant. Like I said, we need the trees. Eh.
Yes,
We need a very healthy and lush and robust watershed. Hopefully, with the entry of electricity here, we would have factories, we would have businesses where these guys can work. Yun lang naman yun eh. Part of our CSR also is ecotourism. No? In fact, I've committed 1 million pesos to improve the access to what the falls here, which will, because it's my daughter that's donating it, no? So it will now be named Gabriela Falls in the name of my granddaughter. No? This is a beautiful falls. You know, if you've been there, you'll be amazed and enchanted by the beauty of this. Sadly, the access there is difficult. No? So we're going to build pathways and road to get up there. No? So that's one. And then the Eagle Sanctuary, we could have maybe some educational facilities here to expose them to the environment, kids, you know. Like, I don't know, we were even talking about putting Boy Scouts camp where, you know, people could camp out and explore nature, hiking, bird watching, madami talaga. Because it's such a beautiful area. Thick forest cover, and, you know, I find myself just hiking and, you know, mountaineering, and it's fun. It really is.
Okay, so it's a good thing, sir, na sabi pa kaya ni yung taga-Department of Energy nga, kahit nga hindi magsisimula yung negosyo nyo, wala pang profit na pumapasok, yung CS, yung Corporate Social Responsibility nyo, ginagawa nyo na magawa ng eskwelahan, livelihood ng gasolinahan, yung refilling. So it's a good thing, and very rare. So rin yung sinabi mo about yung mga compliance nyo sa engineering na part, yung sa pagtatanim ng kahoy. At isang nalaman namin kayo, sir, na talagang ang transformation ng tao from pag-uuling, which eventually will talagang renew the forest ngayon, they are to protecting the watershed. But I do believe there's still some remaining na parang siguro we still need to some sort of conversion na talagang to really help us preserve our watershed. Una, sir, closing na lang ang statement from you, sir. Una, sir, para sa mga empleyado mo, before sa community, ano po yung message mo sa kanila?
Sa mga empleyado ko?
Empleyado mo po.
Yes, just keep working like they did for this project. Ako, I consider myself a benevolent dictator. No? The dictator part is stricto ako, no? But I'm benevolent.
Okay.
No? Alam nila yon. Lahat ng mga, you know, and somehow, you know, we've been able to train people, skills, mga steelmen namin, concrete guys, yung mga panday, yung mga ano, so, you know, they have learned some skills from us already because of this project, and hopefully they can use that when we finish the projects already.
Okay, as part of your closing statement, sir, ano po yung mensahe mo sa mga taga-community, especially those living within or sa periphery ng ating watershed, especially those patuloy pa rin nag-illegal na pagkuha ng kahoy?
You know, I wish and hope that, you know, they would find alternative sources of income, no? Kasi madali naman magtanim ng gulay-gulay dyan, kung ano-ano, di ba? Ang hirap kaya maguling. No? Hirap maguling, I've seen them. And it's very damaging to your health also. No? Yung pollution lang, sisinghot ka ng usok the whole day for a week or so. First of all, by nature naman, medyo meant for others tayo eh. Di ba? I mean, I was taught by the Jesuits to share and to give back to the community. That's what we're doing.
Okay, so on that note, we would like to thank our resource person. Hindi ating episode yan ng Kalibungan, Sir Benji Picardo, Sir Benji Picardo, the President of the Taft Hydro Energy Corporation. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure and it's an honor to be here.
Amot ng mga kasangkayan na aton pamakiana, han aton presidente, han Taft Hydro Energy Corporation o THEC in the person of Sir Benji Picardo. Din naton taramdan han Kalibungan, na kundi niniging padangat aton pinagi han maupay kaburuton han Department of Environment and Natural Resources, pinagi han aton OIC Regional Executive Director Arturo Fadrikila nga ini amon lumiwan, han aton daan Regional Executive Director Sir Tirso Parian Jr. nga kundi ninihan na amon na iton aton Bureau Director han Forest Management Bureau or FMB. Apan limbasog gihapon ni Assistant Regional Director for Management Services Dr. Art Salazar, and Assistant Regional Director for Technical Services Attorney Dario Suarez. Ngan siyempre, han kontribusyon han Regional Strategic Communication and Initiatives Group Open RC. Minamangluhan ni Ma'am Rowena Opiniano, ni mga kaupo da opisina, Ma'am Perlis, ni Ma'am Bonavi, Ma'am Hedy, Ma'am Joy, Ma'am Mary Joy, Sir Ogie, Sir Johan, and Sir Alfie. My name is Chito Morante, and thank you very much for having been with us at Taramdan, Han Kalibungan. Ayos!
Iyo palahibatian ang Taramdan, Han Kalibungan. Usa nga programa nga nagahatag sa iyo'y kasayuran, may tungod ang mga serbisyo o aktibidades sa DENR, ang Department of Environment and Natural Resources Harion 8. Taramdan, Han Kalibungan. Nagpapahayag ang mga ibabruanan ug mga pangasoy ang mga hintutungdan kabahin ng pagbago-han atong klima o climate change. Taramdan, Han Kalibungan.
Wala ka bang napupuna o aking kaibigan sa mga nangyayari sa ating kapaligiran? May polusyon sa hangin, pati na sa mga ilog natin. Basura'y kumakalat, san ka man tumingin. Sinong sisihing sa mga nangyayaring ito? Tayong mga tao na siyang may kagagawan. Kalikasan ating ingatan, buhay natin dito nakasalalay. Dapat ang kalikasan ay isa, konektado tayo sa isa't isa. Huwag nating hayang ita'y masira para sa mga musmus pang darating. Para sa mga musmus pang darating. Berdeng kagubatan ngayon ay nasaan? Naging sementadong gusali at daan. Di naman masama ang pagkamit ng kaunlaran, basta di nakakasira kay inang kalikasan. Sinong sisihing sa mga nangyayaring ito? Tayong mga tao na siyang may kagagawan. Kalikasan ating ingatan, buhay natin dito nakasalalay. Dapat ang kalikasan ay isa, ating iyong ito'y masira para sa mga musmus pang darating, para sa mga musmus pang darating. Dahil buhay natin ang kalikasan, ito'y ating mahalin at laging alagaan. Biyayang kailangan sa kanya nagbumula, wala na tayong makukuha pag siya ay nasira. Kaya nga't habang di pa huli ang lahat, kumilos na tayo at siya'y iligtas. Huwag nang abusuhin at lapas tanganin, dahil pag siya'y gumanti walang makakapigil. Ating ingatan si inang kalikasan. Siya'y ating buhay, siya'y ating buhay, karugtong ng